Hey guys, and welcome to my Hillsong College advice/review video. This is a video that I've wanted to do for a while. It's a topic that I get asked about a lot since it is a pretty unique experience. This video isn't meant to be inclusive. It's not sponsored by Hillsong. This is just my own opinion on stuff. And I kind of wanted to share the points or information that I would give someone in a one-on-one conversation if they were asking me what my experience was at Hillsong, if they should go, things to consider, and just how I would kind of advise someone if they were thinking about going. This is stuff that I wish people had told me before I went. I think it just would have made my experience that much easier, or the transition that much easier in the beginning. There is a new Hillsong campus in Phoenix, Arizona. So just to clarify, I did not go to that campus. I went to the campus in Sydney, Australia, the Hills campus specifically. So this video all applies to my experience there. I was there in 2015 and 2016. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and make sure you leave me a comment or send me a message if you'd like more videos like this. This video is not all inclusive, and it's not just a fact video or a personal experience video. Like I said, it's kind of a mix of the two, of how I would have a one-on-one conversation if I was talking about this topic with someone. So here we go. Let's check out this Hillsong College advice/review video from me. Also, PS, no makeup today, so we're just doing this au naturel, not planned. Yeah. So if someone was asking me about my time at Hillsong College and what I would recommend for them, my first question for them would probably be, what is your goal? A lot of people go to Hillsong College and unfortunately just assume that they're going to come out the other side with a guaranteed job at a church somewhere, maybe even at Hillsong College or Hillsong Church itself. And although there is a lot of Hillsong Church campuses, a lot of jobs at Hillsong College, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get a job afterwards. So if your mindset is that you just think you're automatically going to get this amazing job afterwards, you really need to fix your thinking. It's not wrong to have the goal of working in a church or working in full-time paid ministry afterwards, but I think if that's your goal, there's a higher chance of being disappointed afterwards, unfortunately. So just make sure if you're going to Hillsong College, you've got the right mindset going into it and coming out of it. I would really suggest having, reachable and attainable goals, but make sure you look at the bigger picture of life. When I went to Hillsong College, I definitely went with the idea that I wanted to come out and be able to be a kids pastor or a youth pastor, but early on it was obvious to me that that wasn't 100% guaranteed going to happen afterwards. So I changed my mindset to thinking, no matter what I do afterwards, whether I just join the workforce or, have a family or whatever it is, this experience is going to apply to my whole life and be beneficial for my whole life. So if you go into the experience like that, I think you're going to have a better outcome, just because you'll take everything in for every aspect of your life, rather than maybe just having a narrow focus on only one area, and then if that doesn't work out, feeling like it didn't apply. I think if you do that, you probably have a better chance of enjoying the experience, really being able to use the experience in all areas of your life, rather than just having a narrow focus on one goal. And if that doesn't happen, then feeling like your experience was a waste. It is not a waste. No matter what you do afterwards, your experience at Hillsong College is going to be beneficial for your whole life. My second piece of advice for anyone going to Hillsong College is to make sure that you go with an open mind. Hillsong College is, very progressive in their thinking. They've been doing this for a long time. They've worked out the kinks. They know what they're doing, and they're constantly stepping up their game, whether it's through academics or ministry or teaching, whatever it is. So if you're someone who's very set in your ways and you're not willing to change your thinking, you're definitely going to have a problem there, a problem growing, a problem interacting with people. So I really highly suggest that you, before you even go, make sure you have an open mind. Know that you're going to be challenged. Know probably that some of the stuff that you think you know, maybe you don't know as well as you think you do. There are people there that are way more educated than you, and even if you are someone maybe who studied theology before, or you've already worked in full-time ministry and then you're going to Hillsong College, just know that, there's always something new to learn. So don't be too stuck in what you think. Make sure you're willing to take on new ideas. Make sure you're willing to be wrong and change what you're thinking. I know this happened to me in a few areas, and it definitely would have been beneficial for me if I had kind of changed that part of my mind before I went, so that I was just ready to receive information rather than having to think about it, chew on it, deny it for a while, and then think about it again. So make sure that you go with an open mind. The third thing that I would tell you about Hillsong College is that the experience of going to Hillsong College is so much more than what happens in class. If you think you're just going to learn, facts and do kind of like a seminary study and stuff like that, you're about to have your mind completely blown. There's so much more to the experience. For me personally, I would say a lot of my growing and teaching and learning at Hillsong College actually happened outside of the classroom. The fact that you're moving to a foreign country and meeting new people, and spending time with your housemates and having to get a job and all this stuff, all of that part actually made up a lot of my experience, even more than just what happened in class. For me personally, a lot of my learning just happened interacting with people. I was lucky enough to live with 10 awesome girls over the time that I was there, 7 girls in a house at a time. A few of them rotated because we had intakes every 6 months. And a lot of my learning just came from interacting with people that I didn't know, that had different backgrounds than me, that were from different countries than me. And even when you're at church outside of class, you have serving time, you have time when you're just in a Sunday service, you're going to meet people there that don't think like you, that don't look like you, that, don't worship the same way as you, and you're going to learn so much from them. And in your serving as well, your practicum, they call it when you get there. So just make sure that you're not only taking in learning from your class time hours. Make sure that you're just taking in everything, taking every opportunity, look at everything as an experience to learn something new. So that would be my third thing, is that the experience is just so much more than the class hours. Piece of advice number 4 that I would let you know if you're planning on going to Hillsong College is to make sure that you surround yourself with the right people as soon as you can when you get there. Unfortunately, even though it is Bible college, there are still people there for the wrong reasons, people that are not going to influence you the way you want to be influenced, and people that maybe you just don't want to rub off on you. That's not to say that any of these people are bad people or that they are wrong. That's not it at all. But if you have a character that you are aiming for in a way that you want to turn out after college, look for those people right away. There's not a whole lot more I can say than that, just to advise you that you find the right people early on, people that you want to be like, people that challenge you, people that want you to grow, people that have the right character, and find those people and surround yourself with them. If you're lucky enough, hopefully you will end up with some housemates like that. You will spend a lot of time with them, and if you can find friends in those people, it will just make your experience that much better. So surround yourself with the right people. Piece of advice number 5, if you're going as an older student, just be prepared that there are a lot of younger students. This isn't really this most amazing point or something. It's just a part of my experience that some other people I know will have experienced as well. I was 21 at the time that I went to college. I went in 2015 and 2016, and there were some other older students, but we probably made up only maybe like a quarter or less of the overall population of the school, and then a lot were straight out of high school. So if you're going as an older student like I did and you have an issue with being around a bunch of high schoolers, it might not be the best experience for you. Or to flip it, to say just to expect that that's going to happen and just to be ready for it. There's so much to learn from the people that were younger than me, and there was a lot to learn from the people that were older than me that were there as well. So don't be scared to make friends with people in different age demographics than you. And if it's something that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, I'm just letting you know now that that's how it's going to happen. So just be ready. There are a lot of high schoolers there. There's a small group of people that are in the next generation up from me. And like I said, there was probably about 25% of the population that was kind of in that college, post-college age where I was already. So just know that there are lots of age demographics, a lot of high schoolers, but there will be other people your age there as well. Point number 6 about going to Hillsong College is definitely that I think you got to make sure before you go and as soon as you get there that you're setting up personal time for just you and God. I know for me, a weird part of the experience was that I was spending a lot of time at church, like literally you're at church every single day. You're in college 4 or 5 days a week. You're taking in a lot of information, and it can kind of feel like a Bible/God/Christianity overload. But that doesn't count as your personal time with God. You really got to make sure that you put aside that time for just you and God to grow together. It's very easy to become very analytical of your time with God. You're learning ways to study theology academically, and it can actually kind of ruin your devotional time. I don't know if this has happened for anyone else. It kind of happened for me, but I would just analyze everything that I was reading rather than just taking it in and enjoying it. So make sure early on and even before you go that your personal time with God is set up in a way that you really enjoy and that you can keep up well. But just also to say that it may change while you're at college how you do that. I know I changed the way I did devotions probably I don't know, every few months, just because I had to freshen it up to make sure that I didn't get bored of it or get too analytical of it. The analytical thing was a big thing for me, just because we were learning the academic way of studying theology and stuff like that. If you have people in your house that can, or well, your housemates or your friends or whatever, when you get there, that can help encourage you in your devotions. You know, maybe you need to do shared devotions for a little while just to keep up the motivation. That's okay. Just make sure that you have something that's just between you and God. It's not in class, it's not at church, it's not serving, it's just for you and God. You know, even if that, you know, boils down to just laying on your bed with your headphones in, listening to some worship music and just sitting there in that, that's cool. As long as you do something. I just know that it can be very easy to get overwhelmed by everything going on at Bible college and church and kind of miss out on that personal time. So point number 6 is to make sure you still have personal time with God. Okay, and my final point for this video, number 7, is to make sure that you prepare for life after college. This is something that my friends and I have especially talked about, and I know that it's kind of a weird topic, but when you're in college, it's very easy to get sucked into the college bubble, kind of from the point at the beginning, depending on how you went into it. If you have a very narrow focus of how you plan on coming out, if it doesn't turn out that way, life after college can be very difficult. It's not something that they talked about college too much. I mean, some of our teachers did, but it's hard to talk about something that's going to come after that you've never experienced before. Just like anything, you know what I mean? It's going to be a totally new experience that you've never had. There's going to be weird things when you come back from college, like culture shock, whether it's like literal, you know, going back to a different country culture shock or church culture shock. That happened for me because I went back to a church that was quite a bit different than how Hillsong was at the time. You know, it might be family culture shock. You've lived with 7 people or however many housemates you had. I had 7, including myself. And then suddenly you go back into a totally different family environment. That's going to be quite shocking as well. And just to know that it is going to be hard when you leave. I mean, your college experience is going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing. It's going to change you. It's going to change people around you. Don't take that for granted at all. But you are going to go into a different phase of life. Even though the next step might be incredible, maybe you're going into the dream job that you've always wanted. Maybe you're starting the family that you've always wanted. Maybe you're going into the ministry that you've always wanted. But it's still going to be different than whatever you were doing at college, likely. I don't know, maybe you're working at Hillsong College and this will be easy for you, or you're going to work at Hillsong Church, but for most of us, you're probably doing something different, and that means there is going to be a grieving period. So don't be freaked out when you're really sad, or when maybe you're freaking out a little bit. It is going to happen. So just to know that after college is a very weird experience. Don't feel bad to sit in that for a little while. Don't sit in it forever. But you know, you do gotta feel the feels, as I say to a lot of people. You gotta feel the feels. There's gonna be a grieving period. There's gonna be a change period. It's not a better or worse thing. It's just different. So just to be ready for that. My other suggestion as far as for preparing after college is to make sure that you have boundaries put in place for what you want life to look like after college before you even leave college. I know I kind of did this. I probably could have done it better. But I know often we come back from college and we think, you know, it's time finally for a break, which maybe it is. It's, you know, it's a lot going into college and a lot of energy. So yeah, you might need a little bit of a break afterwards. But make sure you take time to think about how you want to be as a person, how you want your character to be, and how you want your life to look after college is done. And whatever boundaries it takes to make that happen, make sure you put those in place. I know some people, unfortunately, who have gone to college and taken too long of a break afterwards, and they have a really hard time integrating back into church life or into normal culture, you know, even in their country or in their family. So if there's things that are important to you, set that in place before you even leave college. You know, the last couple of months, as you know, you're coming up to graduation, start thinking about that stuff. Think about your devotional time. Think about how you want to get back into church when you get home. Think about, you know, silly things like your exercise and your health. You know, that's going to change again. You're going to a different country, a different house, a different lifestyle. Get that stuff in order. It'll save you a lot of hassle, you know, after jet lag and moving and all of that going on, if you can figure it out before you leave. So that was all for this video. I know it was short and not completely inclusive, but those are just a few of the things that I would tell you if you were asking me about whether or not you should go to college and what my experience was and what my advice would be for you. Again, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave me a comment or send me a message if you'd like more videos like this about my time at Hillsong College. And if you have any questions, please ask me. I love talking about my experience there. It was an incredible experience. It's changed my life. It's set my life on a course that I could have never predicted before before college, and I'd love to share that with you. So thanks for watching this video. Hope it helped, and if you're going to Hillsong College, have an amazing time.